Hey YouTubers! So the first thing I should probably say is happy 2018. This is the first video I've recorded since I've got back from Australia. Yeah, 3 weeks down under. It was incredible, can't believe it, and it's flown by so quickly. And now I'm back in my bedroom in London, on my bedroom floor, recording a video for you. And I think it's very fitting that the first review I'm going to do for you is of the movie The Greatest Showman, which, as you're probably aware, stars Hugh Jackman, who is Australia's most charming and charismatic leading man. I actually wanted to talk about this movie whilst I was away, but I just really didn't have the time to record a video of it. I did do a little intro for you whilst I was staying at an Airbnb somewhere near Melbourne. And yeah, there's a little treat for you at the end of this video, so make sure to stick around for that bit, alright? So yeah, The Greatest Showman is a musical biopic about P.T. Barnum, who is a 19th century entrepreneur, businessman, circus ringmaster, and above all, showman, who is played by Hugh Jackman. He was a pioneer of the entertainment industry, and a lot of people thought he was quite eccentric and a little bit crazy, but he was someone who really believed in the power of the stage, and theatricality, and also the unusual. This film shows us his rise to notoriety, as well as the relationship to his wife Charity, who's played by Michelle Williams, and it also looks at his business partnership with Philip Carlyle, who's played by Zac Efron. But this whole film is basically a platform for the Hugh Jackman show, because you may love him when he's playing Wolverine and just shredding through bad guy mutants in the X-Men movies, but one thing that people forget is that Hugh Jackman is a triple threat. The man can act, the man can dance, and the man can sing. And here he is firing on all cylinders. Hugh Jackman is absolutely electrifying in this role, and this film basically is Hugh Jackman at the Oscars, the movie. And it's a magical showstopper of a ride, this film. This film has no sex, no violence, and no swearing, but it's one of those films that you can just sit back and let it completely wash over you with its singing, its dancing, its choreography, its set design, its costumes. Oh my god, everything in this is so lush. The songs are written by Benj, Pasek and Justin Paul, the lyricists that wrote the songs for La La Land, and yeah, there are some truly beautifully crafted songs in this film. The Greatest Show, which is the opening and closing track of this film, and it's just one of those songs that really lights a fire in your belly and gets you singing along. Whoa! Boom! Yeah. And anyway, moving on. And there's also Rewrite the Stars, which is a lovely duet between Zac Efron and Zendaya's character, Annie. And yes, this lovely song which is paired with this amazing set design choreography where they're sort of doing this acrobatic aerial ribbons thing, and wow, it's just goosebumps. But the standout track of this film is the anthem of self-love, This Is Me, which is sang by Keala Settle, who plays the bearded lady, and oh my god, what an amazing voice. This song is all about loving yourself and accepting who you are, and being different is what makes you special. If I was to put money on a best song prediction at the Oscars this year, I would say This Is Me is definitely going to win. However, this does bring me into one of my criticisms of the film, and that is that This Is Me is kind of like the Let It Go song of this film. It's all about the unique acts embracing their identities and saying we are not ashamed of who we are. But the way the song comes into the film, it just sort of comes out of nowhere. It happens about halfway into the film, and by this point they're all doing pretty well, these unique circus acts, because they've been given a job and a new home, and they've sort of gained a new family, you know, with all the other unique circus acts. And at this point they've also met the Queen of England, so yeah, they're doing pretty well. But then at this point, this is where P.T. Barnum stops them from entering this hoity-toity champagne reception, and yeah, closes the doors on them, and this is the metaphorical breaking point for them, where they say, okay, we're weird, we're wonderful, but get used to it, and then they burst into the song. The problem is though, this song about conquering adversity doesn't gel with this particular point in the plot. If you want a song about conquering adversity, then it should come at a point where the characters are at their lowest, so that they can rise up, because when they get down, it's them getting back up again and bursting into song that gives you that feeling of awe. However, in this film, this song just kind of comes at a random point, which doesn't really fit the tone of what the song is about. It just feels like they produced this amazing song after the script was written, so they had to sort of find a way to jam it in somewhere. And yeah, the end result kind of feels like it's a little bit misplaced and a bit forced, and it doesn't quite work. And my other criticism of this film is that it does feel very glossy. Whilst I was doing some research on P.T. Barnum, I found that he was quite a ruthless and brutal man when it came to his ethics. This film portrays him as an almost saintly man who gave a home and family to all these unique circus acts. But from another vantage point, it's arguable that he was just capitalizing on these poor people who had disfigurements or freakish qualities in order to profit for himself. Now, I wasn't there, and you shouldn't believe everything that you read on the internet anyways, and we don't really know what P.T. Barnum was like for sure, so I don't know if Hugh Jackman's portrayal is completely completely accurate. But there's no denying that when you watch The Greatest Showman, Hugh Jackman's performance is very sugary and whimsical. He's portrayed as this almost embodiment of inclusivity and tolerance, which is fine, but it kind of makes a character seem more two-dimensional when they seem so perfect. He does have a little marital drama that takes place in the second act when he starts managing this Swedish singer called Jenny Lind, who's played by Rebecca Ferguson. But yeah, it's very predictable what happens between the two of them, so yeah, that's a little bit tedious. But yeah, I feel this glossy approach will feel probably a little too sappy for some people. I don't need a musical to be gritty or anything, but yeah, it always helps when your characters have more substance or flaws. And yeah, he's just a bit too shiny, I think. So guys, to conclude, The Greatest Showman is a sensational film that gives you the same sense of bedazzlement that you get from watching a West End or Broadway show. It's a treat for the eyes and the ears because the songs are all original and catchy, and the performances are great. The direction by Peter Gracey is superb, despite this being his first time directing a big major Hollywood feature film. Everything technical about this film is gorgeous. The choreography, the lighting, the sound, the set design, the cinematography. Oh, it's all brilliant. It's not a perfect film by any means, but yeah, it comes pretty close, and I'll definitely watch this a few more times, I think. So I'm going to give The Greatest Showman a 9 out of 10. So yeah, Hugh Jackman had a pretty good 2017, what with Logan and The Greatest Showman. Two performances that couldn't be more different from each other. But I would like to know, which Hugh Jackman do you prefer? Do you prefer him when he's all claws as Wolverine? Or do you prefer him when he's all singing and all dancing? Well, you think you can let me know in the comment section below, or you can catch me here on Twitter. And as always, thanks so much for watching, guys. I don't actually have any popcorn to throw to you today, but with keeping with the spirit of Australia and Hugh Jackman and all that nonsense, I thought I'd finish with this today. So yeah, enjoy. What better way to finish the video, guys, than on top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge? For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.